Can I just ask, how many of you are working in nursing homes and how many nursing homes, yeah? Okay. How many in residential homes? Any from home care or anything, extra care, anything like that? Okay. Lovely for you to come today and lovely to see you. So thank you. Good morning. I'm Anita Astle. On your programme, it's got Nadra Ahmed. Nadra, unfortunately, can't be with us today. She's got health issues and also a father who isn't very well in hospital. So I'm a registered nurse. I'm a manager and an owner of a nursing home, which is in Nottingham. And I'm delighted to be here to speak to you about building a better workforce, which is something that's really that I'm really passionate about. Now, there's lots of things that we know about the importance of culture, values and behaviours. If you look at Skills for Care website, there's lots of information there. And there's quite a few business people that have said, similar to what Tony Size has said, who's from Zappos, which is a massive 1.2 billion clothing company in the US. So what he's saying is that actually if we build the right culture, then we have great customer service, we'll have a long-term brand, and we'll empower a passionate team, and we'll have customers that come back. So, what is our workforce like? I've worked in social care now for 34 years. And to be honest, the last 3 years have been horrendous and have made me want to leave the sector at times. So we have to recognise what our workforce is like and who they are. In many ways, they're brilliant, highly skilled. Unfortunately, they're undervalued, they're low paid, they've got low morale at times, and all of this leads to burnout. Not a great situation to be in. So if we want to build a better workforce, we've got to address those things. And what did we see with COVID? Well, I'm not sure what you saw in your organisations, but what I saw in mine is there was a group of staff that left because they were fearful of COVID and what that meant. There were lots of people that joined us because the country shut down. And what was the business that was going? It was social care or hospital care. So people joined us. But then what happened when the country opened? They left. And in my situation, most of them left without any notice. You turned up for shift expecting people to be there and they just weren't. So we need to recognise that. So what does Skills for Care tell us? Well, it tells us, you can get this data on Skills for Care website. However, I would say it's not very easy to find. So, but do look at it because it is valuable. So we have 1.79 posts available. That's up by 0.3% since 2020-2021. There's 1.62 posts that are filled, and there's 165,000 vacant posts. That's up by 55,000 posts in 2020 and 2021. New starters rates have fallen by 37.3% in 2018 to 30.8% in 21-22. So there's less people that are looking to come into social care. Now currently there's 1.2 million that are unemployed, But all those unemployed people are not fit necessarily to just walk into social care. And there are some political people out there that think, well, just put all the unemployed people in social care, that'll solve the problem. They haven't got the right culture, values and behaviours. And we need to push back on suggestions that anybody can just walk into our jobs. Another interesting point is overseas workers have increased from 2% in 2021 to 11% this year. So all of that tells us that we need to do something to attract workforce into social care. We need them to think that it's the best place to come and work, like I used to think. I need to be honest. I used to think it was the best place to come and work. So what does all this mean? Well, it means that at any one time, a third of our workforce are going to be in post because they're the long-term workforce that are committed to being with us and have probably been with us many, many years. A third will be around for around 2 years, maybe 3, maybe 4, but they will be looking to move on at some point. And a third will come and go. So we need to focus on that 2/3 that is going to be around, that we can actually mould and that we can actually support. Now, Barack Obama said it's not enough to train today's workforce. We also have to prepare for tomorrow's workforce by guaranteeing every child access to world-class education. I've already said 3 years has knocked it out of me. Would I want my children to come and work in social care? Not at the moment. Can I ask how many of you would want your children to come and work in social care now? Great, because you're the ones that we need to motivate. My daughter does work in social care with me, but she's a constant reminder of what we need to do differently. So, has anybody read this document, Mind the Gap? Anybody? Read it. It's an old document, but you can still get it. And it was, I think it was Alexei that wrote it. And it's about the different generations that we have. It talks about baby boomers. So baby boomers, I'm a baby boomer, from 1946 to 1964. Categorises us as workaholics to the detriment of our family. It talks about Generation X. These were born between 1965 and 1979. They're pragmatic individualists, it says. They work smarter, not harder. So we need to listen to them. They will tell us what we need to do is tell them what we need them to do, not how they need to do it, because they can work that out for themselves. Generation Y, 1980 to 1994. They expect support to achieve, and if they don't get it, they're off. They need a sense of purpose, and they believe in working for the greater good. And then Generation Z. These were born from 1995 to 2010. These are self-directed individuals. They like personal freedom, and that's non-negotiable. So with your Generation Z, you have to do it their way, not your way. They aren't going to be a workaholic like I am. None of that. They leave work and they go home and they play hard. And they come back to work and they start work at whatever time the shift starts, not half an hour before or 15 minutes before. But we can learn from them and we can work with them. So what's the relevance of all of this? We have different generations of staff. They have different values. They have different expectations. That can create less harmony in the workforce. We have to manage that. We have to live the values of the company, and those values need to tick the boxes for all the different generations that are working with us. We need a career framework, because not everybody wants to be, the chief nurse of England or the manager of the care home. But people will have aspirations, and we need to tick that box for those individuals. We need to celebrate achievements, something that we're not good at. But all of us will be achieving fantastic things in our workplace. Are we promoting that in the media? Are we promoting that on in social media? Are we processing that and highlighting it within the press? I don't see much of it. See lots of bad stories, but I don't see much good. Let's change the way of what we do. We need to promote excellent team working, and that means that we need to address the issues when we've got imbalance between the staff team. Don't ignore it. It's not going to go away. It will ruin team working if we don't address it. And we need to facilitate work-life balance. At the moment, I've just invested in 16 of my workforce being mental health first aiders. We have a workforce of 132 staff, 16 are mental health first aiders. At the moment, I've got, I don't know whether I'm the only one, hopefully not, and hopefully it's not just because they're working with me, but I've got a lot of staff that are suffering with stress. Have you? Yeah? We need to recognise that. We need to support them. We need to understand it. And so using the mental health first aid programme is one way. We're investing a hell of a lot in staff wellbeing. We're not funded to do that. None of our funding says, oh, this is the bit for first aid. A woman's waving a stick. I don't know whether we're going into Star Wars. 5 minutes. Okay. So, we need to recognise that and know what we're going to do about it. Now, I found this. It actually said social care worker at the bottom, but I've changed it because these are the attributes of what I call a care professional. Our staff aren't care workers. They are care professionals. When we need to start changing the language so that we show how we're valuing people and what's important to them. So we need to think about our workforce. We need to listen to them. We need to pay competitive rates. We need to value and respect our workforce. We need to embed a culture that's based on values and behaviours. And we need to offer career development and career progression. We also need staff wellbeing to be embedded within our organisations to achieve all of that. And so, to create a strong workforce, a better workforce, we need to promote a positive image of social care. We need system leaders that promote and fight for social care. And I don't know who they are. Can anybody give me the name of a system leader that we have that actually promotes and fights for social care? Nobody. That is a sad state of affair. So we need to get that, and we need to demand that. There's people in positions, but I don't know what they're doing. So let's not stand for it, because otherwise our sector is not going to be there for long. And we need to showcase and offer opportunities.